So there were some big changes in this week's House of the Dragon. The action has moved on roughly 10 years, and with that we welcomed some new faces into the fold, which was really exciting. We've got a new version of Rhaenyra, a new version of Alicent, and a new version of Laenor as well. David, what were your thoughts on the new cast additions?
Well, this is a moment we've been waiting for quite some time now. I think viewers have been a little bit surprised by just how long it's taken for Olivia Cooke and Emma Darcy to join this show. But they're finally here, and I think they both make a great first impression. Emma Darcy particularly had her work cut out for her because Millie Alcock has been such a breakout star on this show. So they had some big shoes to fill, but I think they've done an excellent job. Comparatively, I think Olivia Cooke maybe had a slightly easier time, only because Alicent Hightower is a slightly more subdued character who wasn't given quite as many moments to shine in the early episodes. So while Emily Carey's performance was great, I feel Alicent is a bit more of a blank canvas, and so Olivia Cooke has a bit more freedom with what she can do with the role.
But of course, while they've brought in some new faces, there are a number of characters who have stayed the same. Matt Smith, for example, who plays Daemon, apart from a little bit of aging up here and there, he has the same face. So I'm not quite sure whether it works for me across the board. With Laenor, for example, I think they could have used the same actor again, done the same thing with him, aged him up a little bit. I think it creates a slight discord for me anyway.
Well, Emma Darcy and Olivia Cooke certainly have a lot to sink their teeth into this week, as the whole episode revolves around the ongoing rivalry between Rhaenyra Targaryen and Alicent Hightower. Now, things have gone from bad to worse in the decade or so that we've been away, not helped by the fact that Rhaenyra has had 3 illegitimate children with her sworn protector, which Alicent views as a huge insult to the throne.
One child like that is a mistake. To have 3 is an insult.
Yeah, we see the divide at that small council meeting, don't we? It's the most overt representation of the gulf that's developed between them. They're both sat on opposite sides of the table, giving each other side-eye, serious side-eye going on. They're arguing over a non-issue, something to do with some farmland. Both of them just want to assert themselves in that situation. And it's also the first time, really, that we see Rhaenyra looking vulnerable, right? She looks frail. Obviously, she's not long given birth, so physically, she's looking a little bit pale, worse for wear. But also, she suggests that one of her sons should marry Alicent's daughter, as well as giving them a pick of a recent crop of dragon eggs as well. This is a good offering, as Viserys says. But Alicent sees right through it. She knows that this is a ploy from Rhaenyra to again try and reassert herself, regain some power. But yeah, quite a contrast to the Rhaenyra that we've seen previously. She senses her weakness, and she's now trying to grapple and find a way to reassert herself and regain some confidence.
Well, Alicent also finds herself on unstable footing by the end of the episode when she unwittingly becomes an accomplice in a horrifying murder plot orchestrated by the one and only Larys Strong. It seems like this unholy bond that the two have formed is going to drag them both into ever-deepening depths of depravity.
The Queen makes a wish. What servant of the realm would not strive to fulfill it?
And speaking of Larys, let's move on to this week's head of the house, our standout character from episode 6 of House of the Dragon. And I'm going to go for Larys Strong. He was making some serious moves at the end there, making things happen, moving the plot along. And he's a schemer, and we all love a schemer. Game of Thrones has always been about devious people weaving themselves about behind the scenes in a bid to benefit themselves. Always very entertaining to watch. And as we saw at the end, he's claimed that Alicent asked him to start that fire, and in return she will give him something when the time is right. What that thing is, we do not know, but I'm certainly looking forward to finding out.
Well, I think I'm going to have to say King Viserys, purely for Paddy Considine's powerhouse performance. I mean, pretty much all the way through this episode, I felt sick to my stomach. I was so upset for him, because you can really see that at this point in his life, you know, he's getting on a bit, he's ailing, maybe his mental faculties aren't quite as sharp as they used to be, and he's sort of feeding himself this delusion where he's telling himself that everything's going to be okay, that his family is thriving and loving, when actually, of course, everything is just falling apart around him.
Like his body.
much like his body. And on that note, I should say that the prosthetics used on Paddy Considine to make him look older than he is, I felt were very convincing and very well done. So big props to the art department on that one.
But a weakness. Through them, you imagine you'll persist forever.
You will be our king.
And that wraps up this week's episode of Beyond the Dragon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, you can watch House of the Dragon on Mondays on Sky Atlantic, first at 2 a.m, then again in the evening at 9. Or you can watch whenever you like on the streaming service now. We'll be back next week with more insights on the Game of Thrones prequel. Until then, have a great week. We'll see you soon.
Bye.